Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. I just want to talk a little bit here about just making the best of whatever situation you're in. There's so much that's out of our control, and we don't need to waste our time, and you'll have such an advantage on so many other people in this world if you don't waste your time worrying and complaining and just getting emotionally involved in these things you can't control. You can't control traffic or the weather. There's so many things you cannot control. So let's take this into kind of the gym setting, and this can be just every day in class, or this can be if you're a competitive CrossFit athlete or any type of athlete. You don't know what the weather's going to be like. And the more you just kind of embrace what you're having to go through, the more kind of versatile and the more ability that you're going to be able to have and the bigger advantage you're going to have on everybody else. Sometimes you might go into the gym and you might not get the pull-up bar you want. You might not get the barbell you want. Maybe you have to use a heavier or lighter barbell than usual. Maybe you have one that doesn't spin very well. Maybe the dumbbells are like this, or maybe whatever. It doesn't matter. You have to be able to adapt. The world is not perfect. There are not barbells out in the real world. People find this, one of my favorite things is we've got some real heavy sandbags in the gym. And what people realize is even when they're at a weight that they're used to just throwing on a barbell and just throwing around, possibly even doing snatches with, they try and pick up that weight in a sandbag, and it is just a different ball game. Weight is distributed differently. There's no barbells in the real world. So we need to be able to adapt to these different situations. It is incredible. It usually happens with a lot of people, but we get a lot of drop-ins. So this is where I see it with the most. We have drop-ins come in from other gyms, and our pull-up bars are different than their gym. Maybe they're a little thicker. Maybe they're a little thinner. Maybe they're a little slicker. Maybe they have a little more texture on them. The barbells are different. And these drop-ins sometimes can freak out. And they get so worked up on being uncomfortable and out of their element. And this is something you got to embrace. Out in the real world, we're trying to be ready for the unknown and the unknowable. And the best way you can do that is use different implements. You can't always be on the best possible equipment because the best possible equipment might not happen. So we need to be able to adapt to different things. So if you get stuck with a barbell you don't like, or if you get stuck with it's hot outside, or it's raining outside, or you're sweating and you're having a hard time holding on, just know that probably this is something that everyone else is having to deal with too. And if you can handle it better, you're going to have an advantage. If it's not something everybody else is dealing with, it doesn't matter because you have to deal with your situation regardless. And if you sit here and worry and bitch and moan about how your situation is unfair, that doesn't help your situation. Your situation is still the exact same situation. So you just have to take everything in stride, come at it with a good attitude, and look at everything as an opportunity. If you have the crappy stuff, you have an opportunity to beat everybody in spite of the crappy stuff. If everybody has this crappy stuff or this crappy situation that's going on, you have such an advantage because while they're going to be worrying about it, you're going to embrace it, and it's just like, this is what we got to do. It transfers out into the real world. Only worry about the things that you can control. Embrace everything else as a learning experience or as having an advantage over everybody else. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon.